Bring your together at the heart center. We will start with the Mangalacharya. यस्त्यक्त्वा रूपमाद्यं प्रभवति जगतो अनेकधानुग्रहाय प्रक्षीणक्लेशराशिर्विषमविषधरो अनेकवक्त्रसुभोगी सर्वज्ञानप्रसूतिर्भुजगपरिकरा प्रीतये यस्य नित्यं देवो हि सहसोऽव्या शितविमलतनुर्योगदो योगयुक्तः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Gently bow your head down. Bring yourself to the class. Prepare yourself for the session. When you're ready, gently lift your head up. Open your eyes. Namaskaram and welcome to the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra Abhyas Path. We have started with the sadhana path. In the last session, last 2-3 sessions, we discussed about new terms that are Kriya Yoga. What is Kriya Yoga? Under Kriya Yoga, we also saw Yoga Rudha and Yoga Ruksha. So, we saw that chapter 1 is for the one who is Ekagra and Nirudha, and chapter 2 is for the one who has already been lifted off the Vikshipta, but is sometimes meeting Ekagra, sometimes not meeting, and is still facing hurdles on sadhana, 1. And second, who is Vikshipta completely. Yes. So, under this, we saw Yoga Rudha were the ones, the first chapter was for, they were already practitioners. They were already practitioners, but there were some errors in the practice which were removed. And the second, we see for Yoga Ruksha. Now, the Yoga Ruksha is the one who is going to need to take effort to work on the mind. Before Samadhi also, some effort needs to be taken. The Yoga Ruksha Avastha is a Vikshipta Avastha. What Avastha it is? Vikshipta Avastha. And in Vikshipta, we talked about Asahya and Sasamartha. Asahya means the practitioners who at the physical level are not able to practice, but there is intense dispassion and vairagya. Only listening to the knowledge, also there is a lot of change happening. For such a person, only listening to the knowledge also, such a lot of transformation is taking place. So, Asahya. And second was Sasamartha. Sasamartha are the ones who are physically able to start from the other limbs of yoga. So, for Asahya, we spoke about Kriya Yoga. Asahya, we also spoke about Kriya Yoga. And in Kriya Yoga, we spoke about Hita, Mita, Medya, Ashanam. Hita, which is good. Mita, limited. Medya, fresh. Ashanam, consumption. Iti tapaha. What is good for me? Is it limited? And is it pure? Fresh meaning sattvic. So all the objects taken through my senses have to qualify these criteria. And we called it tapaha. Now, tapaha was the first term of Sutra 1 of Sadhana Path. And we here also see a shloka. Yasmin sthito na dukkhena guruna api vichalayate. Gita says, the one who is not into tapaha will not be liberated or cannot be liberated. Now this tapaha for the one who is Yoga Ruksha, and in Yoga Ruksha also, who is Asahya, is different. Tapaha for Sasamartha is different. Tapaha we studied Dvanda Sahanam. Do you recall Dvanda Sahanam? Enduring dualities at the level of mind, at the level of body, at the level of prana. We will see it forward. So For the one who is yoga rudha, this tapa is not even prescribed. Any doing is not prescribed. The state of minds are only discussed. We see pramana viparyaya vikalpa nidra smriti related to the mind. But when we look at the second chapter, we see avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesh. So there are few more challenges for seekers who are not in that state, which is the first one. So therefore, here we see the practitioners who are yoga ruksha. For them now, additional effort needs to be taken. And therefore, Gita says the one who does not do tapaha cannot be a realized one. So this same tapaha will be different for yoga rudha, same tapaha will be different for yoga ruksha, and yoga ruksha different from for asaya and for sasamartha. Tapaha for sasamartha, who is able at the level of body, there will be a long list, 8 limbs as we will unfold them, and in that tapa will be threefold. But the one who is asaya, tapa is only one. What is it? Hita, mita and maitre. Whatever are the sense objects, just ensure that they are sattvic. Just ensure that they are limited and they are aligned with your path or take you towards light. We also discussed in the previous session that Ishvara Pranidhana has been mentioned thrice. That means just like tapaha, it also needs to be used differently by different seekers. For yoga rudha, we simply saw tasya vachaka pranava. For many of us, there have been already some experiences while we were practicing the first pada, that is samadhi pada. Why there were positive experiences? Because we are in the stage which is between vikshipta to ekagra. So in case you are in the stage which is between vikshipta to ekagra, you must have already had many experiences while you were in sadhana only by shravana and making changes accordingly at the level of mind. Now for the ones who have heard the knowledge, who know what it is, but are not able to have any experience, what does Sage Patanjali say? Don't start from the difficult. For the one who has not even had a single experience of the knowledge, that means it has not been embodied, even a small percentage of it, what does Sage Patanjali advise? Do not start with a difficult sadhana. Because the more you try to restrain or control, there is a possibility that you will end up midway somewhere. So therefore, what needs to be done? In order to restrain something, it must be first minimized. So in this very path, we see that Sage Patanjali advises a seeker to go for a small sadhana, small target, achieve it. So there is a confidence built that I can go for a higher sadhana and I can also achieve. Sage Patanjali says, do not take the example of the greatest of yogis who are doing the most difficult practices. Take the example of the greatest of yogis, but look at their simple practices. I will repeat this again. Do not take the only examples of the greatest yogis and their difficult practices. Take the example of the greatest yogis and their simple practices like dinacharya, daily routine. So for a very beginner who is sashakta, there is no vairagya. Sashakta state will what will be there in sashakta? We will see these avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh and abhinivesh. So for such a seeker, we will see that they cannot take immediately something very difficult. And how do we know they cannot take something difficult? Because there is only one way to assess it is that in the past, each time a higher target is taken by the mind fools us. We have discussed sometimes. What we can do, it tells us more capacity beyond that. If we can climb 4 floors, it will say we can climb 7. Oh, somebody else is walking with me, that means I can climb 2 more floors. So Sage Patanjali here says, as per your adhikaritva, as per your state of mind, take the example of the greatest of yogis, but take their simplest action, which you can mirror immediately. And then you observe their sadhana, then you observe their tapaha, and so on. For whom is all of this? For a seeker who has not even had a single embodiment of the wisdom, even after listening to the first chapter, and still finds oneself in avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. We will definitely unfold them one by one. But I hope till here we have correctly followed. For both, it is advisable to be with the greatest of yogis. But one who is Yoga Ruksha is looking at the same yogi through different perspective, and the one who is Yoga Rudha. For Yoga Rudha, simply Sanidhya, mere presence of the Guru works. Just being in the company of the Guru without any discourse, without any word spoken, many things work. But for who is Yoga Ruksha, must start looking at first smaller change. How the teacher sits, eats, talks, how is day-to-day life, what is the thought process, what is the time the teacher wakes up. So we still recall when we studied with Guruji, we sat, I still have one of my notebooks where I've written, what time should I wake up? What time should I eat? What is this good for me? Like a small child would ask, I've actually asked each and every question. What time should I wake up? What time should I sleep? Is it possible for me to, absolutely practice Maun at least once a week? Questions like that, whichever I had, that how can I have silence once a week? Should I practice my sadhana in the morning or evening? So very simple questions. Okay, Swamiji, you go for a walk. Should I also go at walk at 5 in the morning and 5 in the evening? So first 3 months, 3 to 4 months, I just exactly copied. Not just me, many of the Guru Bandhus with me. We simply mirrored what time Swamiji wakes up, we wake up that time. What time Swamiji eats the meal, 10:30 is the lunch, 10:30 we take lunch. 5 o'clock is the dinner, 5 o'clock is the dinner. 8:30 is the sleeping time, 8:30 is the sleeping time, and so. Definitely we are busy in work and other things, the body is active. For the monks, they are already in Hitamita Medya. We may need an extra meal or some extra work. So then what can be done in that case? That also has been. And presently also working for Puruji, the diet and everything, where systematically he will now get it soon. And so diet also, it's always good that you check with the teacher. I am Vata, I am Pitta, I am Kapha. What will work for me? So if Trifala, have you discussed this? That Trifala Churna, Trifala, you heard, does not work for everyone. For Kapha, there is Trikuti Churna. So very minor changes which change the body. We all take a protein. What is the source of protein for the yogi? Definitely, because these are intelligent men and women. So they're eating very specific food, which is giving them large doses of nutrition. So I recall many times I have been in the kitchen duty just to prepare kada for Swamiji and just to prepare the breakfast. So I can observe what is the exact meal taken by Swamiji. So I was so happy because every day I got to prepare, and what happened I learned, okay, this sattu, I'm not sure if you're aware of sattu ka atta, chana. Okay, 5 spoons of this plus 2 spoons of this herb plus so much of the javas or flaxseed and so on, and whatever is the point. So when we are very close to the Guru as a very newcomer, what we do? Just start mirroring the lifestyle. That itself you do, you feel like you are on the path. You're doing something as the teacher is doing. Like small children often mimic their favorite actors and people want to be like somebody and so on. So idol, make that idol and start living your lifestyle accordingly. Now, after that, we discussed, okay, in this process, in the second sutra, Sahi Kriya Yoga. What will happen with Kriya Yoga and why is it required? So we discussed the sutra. We will discuss it once again with chanting. Samadhi bhavanarthah.
Samadhi bhavanarthah.
Kleshatanukara.
Kleshatanukara.
Narthascha. Samadhi bhavanarthah. Kleshatanukara.
Samadhi bhavanarthah.
By doing this, in the mind of the seeker, Samadhi is now penetrating deeper. Samadhi as a thought, Samadhi as an idea is now more clear to the seeker. And Klesha Tanukaran, the Kleshas have started weakening. We discussed already in the last class when we chanted that the Kleshas have started weakening. And along with the weakening, what is happening? The desire to remain in Samadhi is increasing. And when you want to do something or you want to obtain it, sometimes you have to create the need for it. The badly you need it, the more correctly you absorb it. So why I need Samadhi? Do I need to work on my mind? Do I need to work on myself? What are my present challenges? All of this must be very carefully scrutinized. What benefit will the path of yoga bring me? You should have a one-page summary written. Do I need it? What will it bring to me? And am I convinced that this is for me? When the yoga ruksha starts being in the practice, what happens? This bhavana of samadhi strengthens. The bhavana of samadhi, to be in the state where Guru is, to be in the same state as Guru is at the level of mind and body. When sees Guru meditating or studying, wants to be in that same state, and klesha tanukaran, forgets. Like a small child, the mother wants to forget, make the child forget something, hands over something new. So for that moment, the child is distracted. So Sesh Patanjali here says that the yoga ruksha, who is relatively new, is just like one thing taken from the mind and something new has come, some distraction has come, and for that moment, the tanukaran, the minimization of the kleshas. This is what the sutra number 2 is telling us. Take 2 minutes to simply go through this. Let me know if you have a question. We also discussed, if you recall, I am the body. Asmita. And I am the body means I am the being now. So the yoga ruksha comes from I am good, I am whatever, at the material level, successful, kind-hearted and so on, comes to I am the body. And from I am the body comes to I am a being. I am being. This transformation, in the simplest form, we can say that whatever has been stored in the mind, in the proximity with the teacher, this falls off. And what stays? I am. Because when I am with the teacher, I am nobody, just the student, as I am. Whatever else is at the material level, whatever the title, whatever is the role, it falls off without me doing anything. If that is the effect, then I make use of this time. Because when I'm listening, I forget everything else, all other roles. Just like a small child is for some time distracted, same is the capacity or same is the condition of the Yoga Ruksha. Therefore, says Patanjali in this sutra says what? Samadhi bhavanartha, the desire, the bhavana to be in samadhi and to proceed on the path, and at the same time, klesha tanukaran. Both are simultaneously happening. Distraction is going on. Now, sutra number 3. Bhashyam. Atha kete kleshaha kyanto veti. What are these kleshas again and again which have been talked about? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, bhiniveshaha, panchakleshaha.
अभिनिवेशः पञ्चक्लेशाः
अविद्या अस्मिता राग द्वेषा अभिनिवेशा पंचक्लेशाः.
अविद्या अस्मिता रागद्वेषाभिनिवेशाः पञ्चक्लेशाः
Pancha is there?
No, not in this.
Pancha is not mentioned.
No, Pancha is there. Sutra 3
In our
in the
Not in
small.
our-
In
Pancha
the small one, it's not there.
because original commentary. See if this is working. If there is no Pancha written, please write in Sutra 3 Pancha. Insert Pancha before Klesha. Because Kleshas can be many. We are taking 5. And in the original text, it is Pancha Klesha.
So there are more than 5 kleshas.
More than 5 kleshas. Yoga takes 5. Yoga says from these 5 only many are born. You see, Yoga Ruksha is also Adhikari. Yoga Ruksha does not have many but has these 5. In Muda and in Shipta, there can be more kleshas. But here we wait at क्लेशा इति पंच विपर्याय इत्यर्थः ते स्यादन्दमाना गुणाधिकारं दृढयन्ति परिणाम अवस्थाप अपयन्ति कार्यकारण स्रोत उन्मयन्ति परस्पर अनुग्रह तंत्र भूत्वा कर्म विपाकं चाभिर्निर्हन्ति इति. So this sutra says there are avidya, asmita, raga, dvesh, abhinivesh, pancha kleshas, and all of them are together. All of them attack the mind together. They do not come singly or they do not come by themselves one by one. All these 5 are present together all the time. Therefore, they are more powerful. So, apart from pramana, viparya, vikalpa, nidra, smriti, which were the vrittis, what is the yoga ruksha going through? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesh, and abhinivesh. Avidya is ignorance. Asmita is wrong identification of the self, who I am, either based on what is fed by the people or the environment, or based on misconceptions or basis which has no pramana. Avidya, asmita, raga. What is raga? Attachment, clinging.
Attachment.
Raga is clinging to one experience. Dvesha, aversion, don't like, likes and dislikes, raga and we saw that these raga, dvesha, pancha klesha are so powerful, they put us into a chain of thoughts. We achieve one thing, the next is ready for us to achieve. And every time we want to achieve something, you will see it comes from either raga or dvesha. Because somebody cannot achieve it, that's why I want to achieve, because so and so person cannot. So either it comes from dvesha or simply because I have formed an attachment. So asmita, raga, dvesh and abhinivesh. If nothing, abhinivesh is also a very, very strong obstacle for yoga ruksha. Abhinivesh means clinging to life. The thought that I am permanent and everything around me is permanent. Scared of being exposed to the truth of all beings. So clinging to life, fearful. And this same fear is seen also in the Pashu. The animals. Asmita, Raga, Vesha, Vinivesh, and their master Avidya. So for Yoga Ruksha, just removal of ignorance, that is Avidya, starts breaking down the structure of the rest. And how does this happen? By Swadhyaya and self-study and listening to the teacher and minimizing. Because this is all about lifestyle changes. For such a person, lifestyle change needs to happen. Environment cannot be changed. Sometimes you cannot change the place you are staying. You cannot change the people around you. But what you can do is, you can change the dynamics of your interaction with your environment. Intelligently, you can see which is the best time to interact with all 4 people in my inner circle or 5 people. When do I see so and so, my parent, sibling is in the greatest mood? Which is that time? Let me interact only during that. So this intelligence, this development, that I have to change the dynamics of my environment even if I cannot change the environment. Okay, if I change the environment at home, if I decide to go and stay somewhere by myself, I have to again step out of that house and go to work. Can I change the environment at work? It's not possible. There also I will have to change the dynamics of my interaction with people. From the workplace, if I move towards my entire, from family we came to the workplace, from workplace to the area or region where I stay. Can I change the environment, the culture, the system, the traditional, the value, the way of looking at life? So I have to change the dynamics of my interaction with my state or region. From state and region, I also belong to some country. I have to change the dynamics of interaction with the entire country from where I am. How am I responding? From the country, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the entire species, the dynamics of interaction not only with humans, the entire world and all the species that come and all of these now are in front of this Yoga Ruksha. Because the Yoga Ruksha is feeling some change from within, but cannot do anything with the environment. So what Sage Patanjali is reminding us, you maybe cannot change the environment at home, or perhaps you are successful in separating or isolating yourself. What will happen when you go out to workplace? What will happen with the systems that challenge you at your regional level, at the Pranta level, at the Desh level, at the entire Khanda, Dvipa, the entire nation? Other species will come and challenge you. What will you do? Because when you are a seeker, even the farmer who sows the seed cannot avoid the weeds growing along with the plant. So when you are a seeker, no matter how hard you try in the environment to sow the best of the seeds, the weeds will spring up from some or the other. You will only know whatever you have sown, how much it has yielded when the actual crop comes. So you may sow the same seed, the same sanskara, somebody else will be doing the same activity in the house, but their yield will be much higher than you. Or possibility, the person who is taking effort has no response from the environment, but you've been successful in doing that. So weeds come with even the healthiest of crop. So this must be understood, that my environment is going to give me the weeds, but that does not mean that I should stop sowing the seeds of what I am. This is the path prescribed for the Yoga Ruksha. So we will see there are different types of avidya also. Not today, but we will discuss them. For now, we will just go in detail of each one of them. Now, avidya stems from two sources. One is environment that we have already discussed. And the second cause for avidya is my inability to allow myself to go through any change. My inability to not allow myself to go through any change. I want the same thing, same set pattern, whatever mind has for it. Security, we call it. Oh, I feel a sense of security in this same thought. Both of these are avidya. And who are the then sons of avidya? Desire, lust, anger, and all of those. Out of ignorance, we see more further kleshas, but they are not discussed here for Yoga Ruksha. We only see avidya and then asmita. So avidya can be removed by me to certain extent by simply allowing myself to change and be open to experiences I receive in life and through the scriptures and Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru. Any tradition which has freed itself of Panchakleshas can only help me free myself. So any teacher who does not only have the knowledge, who has experienced them, who has been through the stage I have been. From such a person, I will take up the study of the scriptures. So from avidya, I go to savidya. From only what I know to whatever I know, how authentic and credible it is. With not just me as a being, but with the experience of life of all the species and all the beings. We will see further avidya being in different scriptures discussed. Avidya is the main reason for rebirth. Punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam. Ignorance. Not for now. It's not for Yoga Sutras, but as we advanced, the entire text after Yoga Sutra will only talk about avidya. So now you have Panchaklesh. As you go forward in the advanced scriptures, 4 will fall off one by one. And there will be only discussion on avidya till Vedanta. And further deepening understanding of avidya and savidya.
So if avidya is so big, then why are there only 2 stems of it? I mean, there should be more stems of it.
These are 2 main reasons. One is not allowing ourselves to be open to change of life. And second,
Yes.
yes.
One is
We are the own obstacles.
environment. When you say what exactly, it's just our surrounding, like the people around us.
Avidya. So now our Gurukul system is not in place.
Hmm.
So there has been an identity crisis that we go through. Previously, child at 6 years was separated from the parents. So was saved by so many things that the child should be kept away from. When there is artha and kama in the family, what the child will see? Resources and struggling for resources or fighting over resources and so on. So child is moved away from artha and kama first. Dharma and moksha is taught. And then is acquainted with artha and kama in one's own grahastha. So since we lost this tradition of having savidya and then observing avidya when we are introduced to the society, a child was never introduced to the society at a young age. Now we see children being exposed to people and so on. It was not done because childhood is completely based on photographic memory. Everything the child sees forms the understanding of the child about himself or herself. Who I am, what I am, the child learns from everything which is seen around. So whatever the child sees takes him or herself to be the I. Therefore, you will see a small child does what? Like the mother or father is doing, will try to mimic the action. Because the sense of belonging is there for the child. So in that this photographic memory or this whatever is seen, visual memory of childhood needs to be replaced with the visuals of the scriptures. So they are there. The Savidya first enters and then the Avidya. False identification. Then Asmita. Who I am. This contemplation is very, very important to get rid of this very klesha. Who I am. Not as I see myself, not as others see myself. Not as the seen, but as the seer. From the seen, the shift should be towards the seer. They are very much simplifying it for us to understand. How I am seen by others, how I am being perceived by others, to who is the perceived. Who is the observer of my life. Because there are so many things about my life which only I know. Not everybody knows everything. So who exactly is the observer and who is the perceiver of me? Asmita. Raga, Dvesha. Attachments, Raga, will only be formed where the senses are in pleasure. It directly is linked with pleasure, any kind of Raga. And why pleasure is harmful, we see? Because there is no end to it. It's like that mathematical sum where you arrive at infinite decimal points and you know you cannot go beyond it. So you have to stop there. So when it comes to Raga, the senses, you achieve one, they will tell you, I want this immediately. Okay, till 35, I have achieved everything. Let me do something different now. Let me change my profession and be extremely different person till my 50. Oh, 50, I have lived my life. 50 to 70, let me go to India and go to Shivananda Ashram or go to Chinmaya Ashram and learn Vedanta there at 70 years. So the mind is going to move from one or to the other. This wanting is going to be there and there is no end to it. Understanding that Raga, any pleasure that is experienced by the senses must be minimized. Stop bola hai kya? Is there stopping mentioned anywhere? No. Hita mita, reduction only. For Yoga Ruksha, reduction. But for the Yoga Ruda, strict abstinence. Yoga Ruksha, reduction. Reduction. Reduce everything what you are doing. Just reduce. From many, come to two. From two, come to one. Raga. Dvesha. Now this Dvesha happens because I have a wrong understanding of myself. Therefore, other people who are not in alignment with my understanding of myself, I seem to not like them. So when we are talking about liking someone, it comes from our own likes. And when we are talking about disliking someone, it also stems from our own dislikes. I don't like something and some person does like it. That means I dislike that. I don't like something, somebody else does it. Therefore, I dislike that person. I dislike that being and so. So Raga and Dvesha. This Raga and Dvesha becomes Titiksha, opposite, tolerance of opposites. When you move towards Vedanta, it becomes tolerance of opposites, pairs of all opposites, likes and dislikes, tolerating it. Neither the like has any power on you than the dislike, because the moment you are even subtle in the moments that you don't like something, now the liking part of the mind is confused. Where do I go? Because something that was said to be disliked, the observer is observing this moment also. So there is no advancement to the like aspect. And if there is no like, there is no dislike. So both are together only. Like, dislike, not separate. Raga, Dvesha are simultaneous. And Abhinivesh, clinging to like me and mine. I have done. This is mine. I have earned this home, this place, this vehicle, whatever it is. Then what happens if this does not go? Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesh. Then I go to the monastery and I say, this is my place. These are my clothes. I will wash and I will dry them here. Nobody will touch my saffron robes. So I go to the monastery and I'm still saying, this is my place for meditation. These are my saffron robes. This is my time of washing clothes. Nobody will go during that time. This is how I like certain things to be. So from what I was clinging to be my home and my material desires, now I am clinging that particular spot in the monastery, that same room, that same set of books, that same class, and so on. So it continues. And they are very strong. Therefore, they need to be these weeds. What are these panchakleshas? Weeds. The extra growth of plants that you see with the good crop. And these must be from the root removed. How they will be removed from the root? By replacing avidya with savidya. Scriptures. For all of these, the only way to work is work on avidya through the scriptures. Be with the Guru. Things are taken. And it's possible to change them. So many times in life you must have observed, you liked eating something so much, then you absolutely don't like it. You didn't like somebody the first time. Later on you develop admiration for that person. So the likes and dislikes are also bound to change. It's madness to take decisions based on what we like and what we don't like. The decision must be made on what is in alignment with my spiritual journey. Yes.
It is the opposite of Asmita and Avidya.
Asmita, I-ness, that is, I am the body. Opposite will be, I am not the body, not the mind. I am the pure consciousness. That is the opposite of Asmita. And for Abhinivesh, it's clinging to life. Abhinivesh is, I am life itself. Means Abhinivesh is a feeling of limitedness. Opposite of Abhinivesh would be unlimitedness. I am the all-pervading, omnipresent, omnipotent consciousness. Therefore, I don't cling to life because everything is going to go. Whatever I see in the best of my health, it's very miserable to stay like that after 50 and 60, 70. When your own face becomes unrecognizable, the skin becomes unrecognizable, the limbs are failing. So, it's more challenging. Therefore, this Abhinivesha is letting go to this clinging to life, knowing that this is an instrument, like everything goes through decay. The freshest of flower and leaf is going to decay after 2 days, or maybe during the winter, they're going to fall off. So as everything goes through constant decay, this body is also go through that. This is opposite of Abhinivesha. I hope now all those who are not there, these first 3 are clear to us, and we can proceed on to the 4th one, 5th one from tomorrow. Just write one line, which I had planned actually for this class. Mukti के साधन, instruments for mukti, mukti के साधन. मुक्ति के साधन. सबसे पहला और the first one, दोष दर्शन. दोष दर्शन. दोष is knowing what needs to be changed in me. Dosha darshan. Constantly observing my mistakes. Not where the person is making mistake, but observing my mistakes. Dosha darshan. अपने गुणों का दर्शन तो करते हैं. मुझ में क्या अच्छे गुण है? What good qualities I have in me? I've been meditating on it all my life. Now it's time to do dosha darshan. Which are the qualities which are harmful in me and which are the weeds for my own mind? Yes, question.
Same as like kapha,
No,
not those sources.
no. Dosha here, not the Vata Pitta Kapha dosha of Ayurveda. Here, dosha simply means the ashuddhata at the level of chitta, impurity at the level of thoughts, impurity at the level of my character. So दोष दर्शन. अभी अपने गुणों का दर्शन खत्म करके दोष दर्शन करना. Where I am making mistakes, that is दोष दर्शन. So मुक्ति के साधन 3 है. दोष दर्शन. Second, क्रिया योग. क्रिया योग will involve your shravana, that is listening, for removing the impurities of the mind. Then upasana. Upasana is daily ritual. You do chanting, you do japamala, you meditate. That is for removing any impurity at the level of emotions. What is the use? What is bhakti? Although we don't discuss bhakti here, but when we are talking about upasana, it is to remove or it is to improve the state of emotions, remove impurities in emotions. Therefore,
No, but-
upasana.
What was before Upasana?
Shravana, listening. Shravana removes impurity of the mind. Upasana removes impurity of the emotions. And Viveka Khyati, तीसरा साधन. Viveka Khyati.
Also in Kriya Yoga it's only 2, and then third is
Kriya Yoga we discussed only 2.
as in Kriya Yoga is Shravana and Upasana.
And
Kriya
now
Yoga was
Viveka.
point
And now
three.
Viveka Khyati. Yes, Viveka Khyati. मुक्ति के 3 साधन दोष दर्शन क्रिया योग विवेक ख्याति. 3 instruments for mukti are dosha darshan, that is observing my own shortcomings, kriya yoga, and viveka khyati. Kriya yoga we've already discussed at length, and viveka khyati we've already seen in the samadhi pada. Do you recall viveka khyati? Discriminating between real, unreal, permanent and non-permanent. These 3 are instruments to mukti. 3 pillars of mukti. These, when the mind is simultaneously on these 3, that means you are naturally being led towards liberation. Dosh darshan, kriya yoga, viveka. Dosh darshan, kriya yoga, viveka.
Ma'am, I have a question. So, ma'am, in that case, the meditating on the vrittis, the chitta, the differentiation of the boundaries of where it ends and where the Purusha starts, would that not form part of the 3, or would that be under Dosh Darshan?
Chitta, if you're talking about chitta, we talked about chit shakti. So it will be after vivek khyati. Because viveka khyati will remove the vrittis, vyuthana chitta filled with vrittis. With viveka khyati, cleansing of this vyuthana chitta, vrittis will happen. So viveka khyati can be taken the act where the chitta further becomes negligible for us, and chit shakti, observation, or the power which throws light on everything is experienced. But we begin with dosh darshan now. Guna darshan, our behavior based on our guna darshan what had been so far. Now it will be our behavior based on our dosha darshan, things that are not so good in me. So when जब मैंने अपने ही दोष देखे तो पूरी दुनिया के दोष ही दोष पाए. When I started observed my own shortcomings, I found I was the person who actually carried the most doshas, most shortcomings that one would find out in the world. So this makes us very humble. Why this sage Patanjali has said this dosh darshan? Every teacher, every monk also, before they go to rest at night, they take 5 minutes for dosha darshan. Cultivate it as a habit. Like you have meditation, Also do dosha darshan 5 minutes every day. What were the situations where I could have acted better? Which are my own shortcomings in whatever transactions I have had in this day? 5 minutes of dosha darshan you will bloom as a different person altogether. See, the mind doesn't need you to change anything. Mind simply needs you to be aware of it. The moment you're established in awareness, that means it becomes a part of your intelligence and goal. Whatever you're aware of, mind makes it your goal. If you're aware of your desires, mind has that goal. If you're aware of your dosha shortcomings, mind has the goal to get. So 5 minutes of dosha darshan is now our practice as prescribed by Sage Patanjali, chapter 2 on this sadhana path. We will conclude for today. Take any questions. Bring your palms together at the heart center. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your head down. Feel grateful for this practice. Thanks, Sage Patanjali, for making this knowledge available to us. When you're ready, gently lift your head up, open your eyes, extend. Namaskaram, Pranam. Thank you for sharing this part with me, this session. We will meet again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. How are you? Namaste. Thank you, ma'am.